Hi, welcome to the Vedic Astrology full moon forecast for November of 2019. So the moon has been waxing, the energy is building. How are you feeling? The moon will reach its culmination point, the full point in the end of the Purnima Tithi on November 12th at 5:34 a.m. Pacific time. That means that the actual full moon, the Purnima Tithi, the leading up energy of the full moon, is happening the evening of the 11th, mostly in the United States anyway. So that is going to be the auspicious night of this full moon. This full moon looks like a very optimistic and strong full moon, a powerful full moon. It's got a lot of inner strength, a lot of strength and courage to it. When I was looking at this full moon, it looks like there's so much potential to be pushing through fears, regenerating yourself, and also getting work done that may have been on hold, or at least reviewing and reconsidering how you can strategize for the future. It's also the auspicious Kartika Purnima, a very auspicious full moon for rituals and holy bathing days all across India. This is the Diwali of the gods, very spectacular, where they light up the gods with candles and diyas, and it's one of the most popular bathing days in Varanasi. Very auspicious day. So this full moon is in the nakshatra of Bharani nakshatra. It's a cluster of stars, an area of the sky that's found in the tail end of Aries, the constellation of Aries. This is sidereal astrology, Vedic astrology. Now, Bharani has a tremendous willpower. It's symbolized by the yoni, which is the birth canal, the womb, right? The female genitalia. But it's also symbolized by Yama, the god of death and restraint. So Bharani has a particular power. He resonates with these larger life cycles of birth and life and death, and it holds a huge creative power. The endurance of life to regenerate itself comes from Bharani. Also a very unusual and rare transit of Mercury. You know, Mercury's been retrograde since October 31st. There's this very rare transit the day before, just the day leading up to this full moon on November 11th, where Mercury is going to retrograde over the disk of the sun, literally occulting the sun. Well, not covering the sun, obviously he's very small, but he could be visible. Don't look directly at the sun, of course, without right eye protection, but you can see him traveling like a bee over the sun in these moments while he's transiting over the disk of the sun. Now this is rare, it doesn't happen that frequently, and in fact this time he's closer to the center of the heart of the sun than he will be for a century. So this is a pretty powerful rebirth for Mercury. You know, Mercury, like Venus, when he goes retrograde, dips down and always crosses through the sun. So this is a time of rebirth, of regenerating ideas. It's kind of a peak moment for the Mercury retrograde, when new ideas can come and new visions can, how to invent new ways to improve maybe systems that have become old or stagnant. So be open to new ideas on this full moon too, and the days leading up to the full moon. I'll leave a link in my blog. My blog's on my website. If you're not on my newsletter or you don't read my blog, you should check it out. It's a great way to get information. It's all written down, and sometimes I write things that I don't say, and sometimes I say things I don't write. So check out my blog, get on my newsletter. I'll leave a link in the description window below, and if you are interested to learn more about the Mercury transit and the timings, you can find out there. This is a very good looking lineup of planets for this full moon in many ways, because also Jupiter is making a trinal drishti. It's a gaze from Sagittarius, where he just entered Sagittarius just just like less than a week ago as I record this, I think. And he is now in Sagittarius, where he is very strong. I also created horoscopes for this transit. It's a full year-long transit. This is the sidereal zodiac, so if you want to know about how this Jupiter transit will affect you, you should find out your Vedic sign, and you could read it from the sun or the moon or the lagna, ideally the lagna or the moon. And so, yeah, I'll also leave a link for those horoscopes. It's a video I made and also an article. So remember that horoscopes are just kind of like cookie cutter explanations of these transits. It certainly does not replace a one-on-one reading. And so I would strongly advise people who are in Jupiter Dasha or who have like a special connection to Jupiter, like Sagittarius or Pisces people, I would strongly suggest that you get a reading with me or some other astrologer at this time, a Vedic astrologer, because this Jupiter transit is opening a lot of new opportunities. Even though Jupiter is only in the first degree of Sagittarius, he is creating this harmonic aspect onto the full moon. So there's a kind of optimism connecting with that authentic, what do I want? What's right for me? What's true for me right now? And I think it could be a full moon that can really help with breaking into new strategies, especially because of this Mercury retrograde in Cassimi, and also a powerful aspect from Mars as well. And this one's very strong because Moon, remember, is in Aries in the sidereal system, and Mars is Aries ruler. So we have a kind of sambandha, even though also Mars is very early in the degrees of Libra where he's aspecting. It's still there. It creates what they call Chandra Mangala Yoga. Chandra Mangala Yoga is a very auspicious yoga to give bravery and courage to step forward with your ideas, and also it does, create opportunities for wealth and prosperity. So again, this is a full moon that really pushes you towards your goals, your long-term goals, but it also helps you re-strategize and see them from new perspectives, and maybe even really improve the way you are using your energy and the way you're moving and the way you're communicating as well what it is you want. So, if we're not authentic with how we truly feel in our relationships, if we don't feel in alignment with what we're doing, it's really hard on the moon, on the self-esteem. So this is a full moon that seems to be kind of trying to renew the spirit of our true essence, our authenticity, our message, that what really matters to us. Okay, so let's just see what the tarot cards have to say about this full moon, Kartik Purnima in Bharani Nakshatra. Okay, so the first card that came through is the Princess of Swords. And yeah, you can really see Mercury's combustion, this deep combustion. She's in green, like the color of Mercury. And so, this Cassimi combustion, the idea of Cassimi is more of a Western idea, that it's kind of like this powerful moment of real vision and realization that can come in this point as Mercury is fully inside the disk of the sun, especially. But the cards are saying also it can feel pretty overwhelming too. This still is a Mercury retrograde, and we might feel like we're pushing against the river a little bit with how we're communicating, how we're traveling, how we're dealing with things. So be aware. The Devil. The card of the Devil. Bharani Nakshatra is called the Star of Restraint. And it is connected with because of the sexual symbolism of it, connected with the pleasure principle. right? The principle of life, the driving force of life, and its seduction of us. So it's interesting that this card came up, because there's something a little bit passionate and hedonistic about Bharani as well. It's got an incredible tenacity to toil and work. It can put itself into deep focus, and determined energy can come through this full moon. But also there can be also the sort of the opposite of this, to the other fulcrum, swinging to the other side, where it's we become overwhelmed or controlled by life, or our tendencies, our attractions, our addictions as well. So it's the driving force of life what keeps us here. The power of the earth to regenerate itself, the primal sexual energy. And finally, the eight of coins. There is a lot of success coming through and potential for new prosperity and abundance in this full moon. But it is true, it's a matter of time and work. Bharani has a lot of themes around work and willpower as well. So slowly but surely, new ideas are forming into something prosperous and empowered, deeply rooted. Have patience, don't push. Don't be so hard on yourself. There is truth behind the confusion and questioning. And slowly we are developing. You are a child of the earth, and you are here to grow and evolve, work and process, of slowly, one step at a time, coming. The seasons change, the cycles are changing as they will. And you are growing stronger. Okay. So thank you for coming and watching the full moon forecast, Vedic Astrology forecast, and tarot reading. My name is Kari Anandashri, and you can book a reading with me one-on-one. I will leave a link below in the description window. You can also sign up for my free newsletter. It's great. You can read my blog there, and definitely subscribe also to this YouTube channel if you like it. And I will be speaking soon. I'm excited to be going to the Sedona Vedic Astrology conference coming up this weekend after next weekend. So if you're looking for some powerful inspiration around Vedic astrology or you just want to learn more, come and check it out. Take care.